Hey everybody, this is Paula Dawn Friend over here on God Said Enough. And it's been a couple of weeks, I think, since I've actually made a video. And I apologize for that. I've been distracted by some things that normally wouldn't have me too distracted. But I got suckered. Yeah, I did. But I learned a lesson. See, I'm learning boundaries. The Lord's been working with me on boundaries, and He's been trying to put people in my life. And the thing about those two-legged beasts, you get to learn some new lessons every time you play with them. Yeah, you do. So I learned some lessons, and we're setting some new boundaries, and we're learning some new words. We're gonna start concentrating. We've been concentrating on intentional obedience, right? And good, better, best, because we're always shooting for best, because He requires our best. And we love Him, so He deserves our best anyway, even if He didn't require it. That's what we would want to do, because it's the next best thing. It really is. It's the next right thing to do, and that's all He asks us to do, is to be aware of that. So that's what we're working on. So our new words for a little while are going to be loyalty, integrity, and priority. See, when you want to make a relationship with someone, whether it's the Lord or a two-legged beast, you need to have some kind of a loyalty going on there, because that has to do with trust and a foundation for a relationship. And then, of course, you yourself need to have that personal integrity thing going on for you, so that you're not only keeping your word to the Lord, you're keeping your word to yourself. And so then you're keeping your word to other people, because you respect them and you don't want to hurt them. And now if you're somebody like me who's this victim of the complex PTSD that I hate, learning how to set those boundaries is really, really difficult, because you've never done it before. And so then when you meet people that you think are worth your loyalty, and that they're worth you prioritizing them in your life with your time and thought and effort and such. And when you're really clear about who you are and what you need, and that you've gone through certain things that really require these things that you need, because if you aren't getting those things, then, well, and if you're getting the things that are contrary to what you say you need, and then of course that person or people actually reiterate that they know you need these things, but then they consistently fail to prioritize you, and for that matter they fail to prioritize the things that you've asked of them. So they've taken time out of their day to think about stuff that pertains to something that you've asked of them, and then you just toss it aside like it's no big. So, and then you don't understand when someone's been clear about what they need and want and require, and they've reciprocated and shown you that you're worthy. And it keeps happening. And gosh, after a minute, you just decide to say, I put up with this for a really, really long time, and I've told you what I need, and you've agreed and understand what I need, and yet you don't do that. You do the opposite thing, or you don't do anything that close to what you say, or I don't know. It's kind of narcissistic and abusive, don't you think? I mean, if you've actually told. And so then, I was talking with the Lord about it, because he and I talk all the time. That's all I do, actually. And the more I study the Bible and the more I go through all the stories and stages of what's gone on with Israel towards God and how we got to this sinful place and how we live in a fallen world, and how I refuse to settle for the fallen world and insist on being in Eden with God, because that's where I want to be. So here's the thing. See, now I've got this relationship with him and we've spent all this time together, and I understand. And I want you people to quit abusing my God and being narcissistic towards him. That's what I want. Because, see, I'm going to be protective of him now because I'm in love. Isn't that crazy? I know. So, here's the thing, that he gives you everything you need. He's always provided everything for you. He created you just so he could hang out with you. And you decided to break the rules, do the one thing. There were a trillion other things you can do, but that one thing you couldn't do. You had to do, woman, and make a bad choice, and then man had to turn around and blame God for it. So Adam and Eve and little g Satan, they created this fallen world for us all to deal with. And then you decided to blame the Lord for that. So then over and over, you love bomb him and you lie to him and you tell him how much you love him. And then you gaslight him all day and say, this is what you're gonna do, and then you don't. And then you throw him away for whatever idol flips your switch this week. Is it the sports team? Is it transgender sex? Is it killing babies in the womb? What is it this week? Gosh, we don't know. We're just gonna gaslight the whole damn world and lie to him and tell him it's the truth. Then you just ignore him like he's not there. As a matter of fact, little g Satan and his merry band of democrats would really just prefer that you don't acknowledge God at all, but blame him for all things. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but they're democrats, so they don't have to make sense. They just have to shove their ideas down your throat. It's their job. And yes, down your throat. I said it correctly. Honest. And then you repeat. And then what does he do? Well, at first, because he's a jealous God, he gets angry and hurt. And he reacts just like you do when you get angry and hurt. He wants to knock all of you just to hell and back. Yep. He wants you dead. He wants to squish you. He's going to drown you in a flood or whatever he's going to do, right? And then, he's so mean. Oh my God, he's just a violent, angry, mean God. Look at him. Oh, what a mean, angry God. So, he thinks for a minute, because he made you just so he could hang out. Just to talk. You weren't made for stress and sin and disease. Your body doesn't know how to do those things, because that's not where you were created to hang out with God and have fun in the Garden of Eden and eat fruit and hang out. But you had to, be prideful. Anyway, so he calls you out on your crap. He holds you accountable. He tells you to repent. He thinks about destroying you, but then he has mercy and grace. That's all he's got for you all day long. See, he loved you.